Are you stuck? What about unhappy? Join Alena Chapman, author, mentor, and life coach for 30-minute moments as she challenges you to get out of the doldrum and start living your life to the fullest. It's time to celebrate that life with 30-minute moments.
Welcome to 30-Minute Moments, and I'm your host, Alena Chapman, and we are all about ease and betterment in your life. So, I am going to, first of all, tell you, Savvy Sisterhood Summit, compare it to adult Disneyland. Yes, I know we don't have the rides. Okay, but give me a year or two. You never know. But I'm telling you right now, what is Disneyland? Disneyland is like a safe place for kids, a safe place for them to dream, a safe place for them to really let their imaginations soar, for them to learn how to associate with different kinds of situations, for them to learn about themselves. Well, guess what? That's what Savvy Sisterhood Weekend, May 4th and 5th at Columbia University this year is all about. It is a safe, wonderful place for you to suddenly start to explore you and your possibilities and why you're having those limitations and also, let's not forget, the friends and the support from the Savvy Sisterhood themselves. Really, you should check it out. And if you're an author, oh my gosh, you can we're going to have a book barn, or bar, I should say, and where you can, with Barnes & Noble, you can have your book ordered through there. You can actually do a book signing. This is an incredible event. We're going to have Bob Proctor. We're going to have Michael Beckworth. We're going to have Nancy Levin. We're going to have, Elizabeth Gilbert of Eat, Pray, Love. We're going to, of course, have me. We're going to have Bernie Dorman. We're going to have so many incredible people that you can learn from, the top of the top of the top. It's just an event that if you are serious about growth, then you'll be there. It truly is the best event this year. All right, so enough about, one more thing. Go to Join Savvy with 2 V's, joinsavvysisterhood.com, and just take a look. Just take a look, because I'll tell you, it's worth a look. All right, that's it for this. Let's get started on the show. I love this show. This man I have heard so many tremendous things about. His name is Dr. Philip Agrios. All right? Now, let's learn a little bit about him. He's an international personal business advisor. And after decades of research and thousands of patients, Dr. Philip Agrios discovered how people turn disaster into success. And I'll tell you what, he's following the same and simple blueprint that nature uses for success. I mean, let's really think about this. Nature is always bouncing back. No matter if it's really, really cold, like it is right here, right now, or there's fire or storms, it always seems to reset itself, have rebirth, and evolves. Now, we are the only ones that kind of get stuck. So why is that? Well, that's what Dr. Philip has been talking about. He has the blueprint. And I want to bring him right on because I think that's something we all need to learn. Don't you agree? So I want to introduce Dr. Philip Agrios. Hello, doctor.
Hi there. Thank you so much for having me.
I am so happy to have you on. It is so... I'm just very intrigued by this. I love this. I've read a little bit, and I want to bring it right up. Oh, by the way, can I call you Dr. Philip?
Yeah, whatever. You can call me whatever.
Thank you.
Not so formal. That's no worry.
Okay, good. All right. So, first of all, this is it. What is the one trait that you're finding in humans that makes us not be that reset, evolving, rebirth kind of thing that nature has? What makes us different?
Basically, what I had discovered is that there are basically 3 principles of the universe, and how they govern us is through our 3 traits. And one of our traits is our sabotaging trait. not in which it undermines us in the way we think and how it, causes us problems. But it's there. Actually, it's essential. We cannot get rid of it. It's essential there in order for us to grow and evolve or protect ourselves through fear. And it's there to give us an understanding, and that's why we bring conflict and challenges and problems, whatever you want to call it, into our lives so that we can evolve. Think about if everything was going well in your life, we would be having a conversation how bored you were.
Right.
And that's how we do it. And that's one of the things I discovered.
Okay. Now, I have gone to your site, and I'm going to encourage everyone to do this because it's fun. And also it's insightful. And you have not a sabotage, you have a test you can take. And it asks you if you're an entrepreneur or you're a business person or you're a CEO or whatever. And then you take this test. And I was pretty impressed. And I'm going to use myself as a guinea pig. May I do that?
That's fine with me.
Yeah, I'm being very brave, I'll tell you all.
Well, here, if I may interrupt real quickly. Everybody has a sabotaging trait.
Right.
So that's why we can't judge each other, because everybody has a little bit thing that we're working on. So someone who overly communicates will look at somebody who does and go, why don't you just talk to me? Or someone who's disorganized and who's very organized, and why don't you just get your act together? Because they're looking at the strength in that within themselves instead of understanding and being compassionate towards that person and help them and support them in the way they need to be supported, not in the way they think.
Exactly. And it is growth. I don't know any. I think even Gandhi had sabotages. We all do, and we always have to evolve.
Exactly.
But, okay, so when I took it, it's very apropos, actually, the timing, because this sabotage came up in my business just last week, and it was causing havoc. And I do, when I am stressed or I'm finding that things are not going the way I want, I really don't get stressed, but I do I sit back and I listen. And what I'm trying to do is make a decision. And so I listen very carefully and I get quiet. Now, here's where the sabotage comes in, and I think it's caused havoc, is that I think when I make my decision, I think for some reason I miss the step of telling everybody what I know and why I'm making the decision, which then gets everybody in an uproar because all of a sudden I made this decision and everybody doesn't know what they're doing. You know what I mean? I threw a curveball.
Yes.
Yeah, this is a problem.
I'm assuming that you are a communicator saboteur that came up, correct?
That's exactly what came up.
So basically what a communicator saboteur is, you listen. You're very, very good at listening.
I am.
You're very loyal, and you like to analyze things, and you like to bring things together and disconnect them and redo them again. And
I do.
The challenge that you have is that you don't express yourself, whether it's verbally, through some type of communication, whatever the case may be, because that's what you're fearing. You don't want to feel stupid or embarrassed. So you don't encourage yourself to express yourself. So people now have to think and to guess what you're thinking. And when they're wrong, you get upset with them. So I always tell people there's only one course that I failed in school was mental telepathy. I just couldn't get it. So you have to express yourself.
You're not the only one.
And then 2 days, or you'll hold it in for a long time, and then all of a sudden 2 days later you express it out to them, and they're like, you're still on that? I got past that.
Oh, yeah, no, I don't have that. And I have to say, I don't feel like whatever I say is, I'm so past feeling stupid or anything like that. But I do feel, but you are right. It's really weird, Dr. Phil Lip, that I feel that it's just a logical progression I came to and everybody should just get it. And it's the weirdest thing. But it is a communicator saboteur, which I now understand. And I have so now I am trying to tell everyone my step. I'm consciously having to deal with this. But you're right, I like my listening. I like that. You said a key in, if I may interrupt, a key thing. You said, I used to.
you still do it. Maybe
I know.
95% of your life is going great. I'm talking about the 5% that's not. That's why when you take there's a video that explains, sometimes people don't read it, is that you should take it as if you're as a teenager or before you had the therapies and the mentors and all that, and you worked on yourself. Because at that time, when you're not really expressing yourself, you are creating a saboteur because you're protecting yourself. See, excuse me, the only thing that's happening is that we grow or we protect. Okay, we expand.
Okay.
We give or take.
Yeah.
That's vibration. So it's either you're growing with somebody or you're protecting yourself from. Even the person you love the most, when you don't agree or you feel a little uncomfortable or stressed, you're protecting yourself. It's just how
Nature.
it is. Our primitive brain goes into that. So the
Interesting.
antidote that you've been given, because you not only get the sabotage trait, you get your antidote for free. And again, this is just, it's a basic concept of it.
Right.
But when you use the antidote, it's actually an impossibility for you to use your sabotaging trait. So the antidote works 100% of the time. I've worked with thousands of people. It never fails. And that's
incredible.
That's why I call it life's one law. It's actually a law that I discovered. And I discovered it through the blueprint by going through nature and seeing how that was causing it, and by looking at our own sabotage. And I use the word sabotage because, real quick, it came from the French word sabotage. I like to find the original meanings of words.
I do too.
And Emile Proget was, they used the word sabotage because peasants used to walk in wooden clogs, and they would be stumbling. And he used sabotage in the way to get the workers for the factories to slow down and create inefficiencies to have some type of bargaining chip against the owners. And that's what the sabotaging trait I use it in, is that it brings inefficiencies to show us that there's an imbalance going on.
Oh, very cool. So when we are, a lot of people will be going for their goal. Oh, you know what? I am going to take a break there, but we're going to talk about people going for their goal and really what happens there. So this is 30-Minute Moments, and I'm Alena Chapman, and we're talking to Dr. Philip Agrios. And be right back. This is interesting.
You're listening to 30-Minute Moments with Alena Chapman, helping you discover your true purpose on WOWO and at WOWO.com.
Welcome back to 30-Minute Moments, and I'm your host, Alena Chapman, and we have Dr. Philip Agrios here, and we're just about to talk about this saboteur. I always see this thing like a guy with a sword, believe it or not. I don't know why, but that's how I see it in my mind. But lots of times, doctor, we have these people, everyone, we're going for our goals, and we think we're doing great, and then all of a sudden, it's like the saboteur, the guy with the sword, comes in and just says no, and, puts a stop to your goal. I know you've worked with thousands on this, and you see what it is, but how do you get people through it?
They have to understand the reason why they're getting blocked, because it's uncomfortable. Success is actually becoming uncomfortable for them. When you're always in that type of pain and stress, you're actually comfortable feeling uncomfortable, or you're uncomfortable feeling comfortable, whichever one you want to
Comfort zone, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So when I work with business owners, they go, I want to double my practice, or I want to really increase sales and all that. And I said, no, you don't. If you really did, you would have done it already.
Isn't that the truth?
Happened in the past that subconsciously you are actually protecting yourself. Maybe if you double your practice, your wife will, or your husband will divorce you because you're never home. Your kids will not be there. You won't have anything. And I had in my book, I give a reference to a patient of mine who had Hashimoto's. I was a functional medicine practitioner. I dealt with thyroid and autoimmune conditions, and she was a practitioner. And she wasn't doing that great in her practice. And I said to her, we found out that it was basically from her 9-year-old child, because she felt as a mom that if she got busier, she wouldn't be able to spend time with her child. So we actually worked with it and created a contract between her and her child. And once that occurred and she felt that it was okay to kind of get permission from her daughter that it's all right, as long as you're giving me this time and all that, within a year, she had to move to a bigger place because her practice exploded. So it was actually more painful for her to achieve that goal. And that was her sabotaging trait.
Right.
That was stopping her because it was protecting her.
And protecting her daughter, she thought. Yeah.
Exactly. Especially with moms, single moms, business owners, they have that guilt aspect of it, or single dads. I've worked with single dads who had the same situation. It's just not a mom thing. And once they understand it, it's like a switch that just goes off. And when you use your antidote, again, it's an impossibility to sabotage yourself. It's like having a domino, right? You have the guys set up the dominoes, and you push this one domino, and then what happens? Everything falls, and then the balloons happen.
Right.
Well, is it really the balloons that caused it, or was it that one domino? And everybody focuses on the balloons. That's your stress. So I call it your behavioral domino effect, where you push this one trait. Now you get all stressed out. What do you use? You use your coping methods. You eat, you drink, you pray, you work, or whatever, all on what? The last domino, not the first domino. And the first domino is the sabotaging trait. And when you use the antidote, which is the exact opposite to the sabotaging trait, it's an impossibility to go down the road of desperation, only the road of inspiration.
I love this. I love the idea of the domino. You know what I mean? Because that's a very clear picture. So often we do concentrate on what's happening right now. Oh my gosh, I'm not making money. Oh my gosh, I am not getting the love of whatever it may be. But really, it's way before when that first domino starts going off.
Right, and there's two other traits that we have, a more of a dominant trait and a mediator trait that work together as what I call the personality stress sequence. So it's more than just this one trait. It's a complex of things, but it's very simple. Life is very simple. It's just we make it complicated in our emotions and our thoughts.
Always. Very cool. I like this. Now, you have a book now, don't you, out there? Yes. You want to tell and this is all in your book. I did not receive a book yet, but I'm going to get one. And just, it talks about all these different sabotaging and the other traits and also how to cure them, correct?
Yeah, it's a blueprint. It's called Life's One Law, Nature's Blueprint for Repeatable Success in Life and Business. And the reason why it's repeatable, because once you understand the blueprint, you will understand why you had a lousy month last month and why you had a great month 2 months ago. And then you can, understanding that with the blueprint, with the 6-step blueprint, you can go through and find out where you're stuck, and then I give you exercises to go through to get unstuck.
It's fantastic. Now, is it always... they say that most of the beliefs, the old beliefs, it's like the old beliefs, the critical mind, the paradigms, those kind of come in as a saboteur too. And when you have that, they say that most of the time, most of those are formed from the ages of 1 to 7, say.
Correct.
But then, of course, you brought up the lady who, it's her 9-year-old child, and she doesn't want to take the time away from that. That's a whole different ball game, and that's an easy one. What do you do with someone who has this old belief that maybe they got when they were 6 years old or 7 years old, and it just sneakily, it's pushing that first domino, but you never know it. It's so sneaky.
So this is what I've seen, is that you're born with this trait. This trait will always be there because it constantly is going to bring in the adversities so that you can evolve and to experience. That's why we're here. We're here to
exactly.
Experience. Okay?
Yeah.
So it's always there. So even with that woman we were talking about, the practitioner, because of her own limited beliefs from when she was a child, she projected her fears upon her daughter. Okay?
Right.
So by her changing and using her antidote and really understand why she was trying to protect herself and her daughter, and once she used the antidote, she was able to make the switch immediately. And then work on it to really stop that. And then that's how you have to work on it. You have to talk yourself into it as much as you talk yourself out of it.
You do.
So this is not like, I'm just going to visualize, I'm just going to use this antidote once and then, go do something else.
No.
This is something that you have to look at it and to be constantly on monitoring yourself. And that's what happens. People don't want to work that hard, or they don't want to work. You know, I've been doing this. I found this 28 years ago, and I was talking to my wife, and I said, you know, if I didn't do 14-hour days, I didn't get up 2 o'clock in the morning and write things and get this, I'd be about 6-7 years behind in my work. And people sometimes have to be committed. If you're not committed, your belief and your commitment to really knowing that this is really what I want to do, and then while utilizing the blueprint and going forward and knowing these are what I have to let go and move forward with, once they can see that and follow something, it's easier than try to figure it out on their own.
It's true. You're listening to 30-Minute Moments. I'm Alena Chapman, and this is Dr. Philip Agrios. Be right back for my favorite part.
This is 30-Minute Moments with Alena Chapman, helping you find your inner self every Sunday on WOWO.
Welcome back to 30-Minute Moments. I'm your host, Alena Chapman, and of course, we're for betterment and ease. And guess what? It's my favorite part. The shift, the shift, the shift. And there's our jingle. I finally resigned myself to the fact that's our jingle. All right. Now, this is the pivotal. This is your aha moment, Dr. Philip. Okay? Something in your life that just woke you up. Do you have a story for us?
Oh, I have a lot of wake-up calls.
Me too. Me too.
The reason why I was brought to this really strong commitment of knowing that there was something that was within me that needed to come out. I remember being in practice, and no matter, I was doing my goals and all that, and I remember finding something about maybe 5 years, 7 years, my goals, and I would realize I was in the exact same place I was prior. I'm doing this person, I'm doing all these top guys, and why is it continually causing me to stay where I'm at? And I went on this, and I went through 7 out of 10 most stressful things that can happen to you, from death of loved ones to I lost my practice due to a disability. I was told I would never practice again.
Wow.
I was financially ruined. I had children. Name it. That's why there's not too many things people have gone through that I haven't gone through, and that's why I'm able to be compassionate towards them and understand them. But it really allowed me to all that, and I have no regret at all in my entire life.
Right.
Because if I never went through all those things, I would have never discovered this. And I remember I was sitting on my living room floor, and I found the trait for myself. And I looked to my left, and that was representing my past, and I went, oh my God, everything that's ever gone wrong in my life was due to this one trait. And then I looked to my right, which was my future, and I went, I can predict my future. Anytime I get stressed, anytime I feel uncomfortable or imbalanced, it's from my sabotaging trait. And I looked at the antidote, and I came up with it, and I went, it can't be that simple. So I went on to a quest to disprove it, because my reputation is very important to me. And I couldn't disprove it over and over, years and decades and thousands of patients and clients and loved ones. I couldn't disprove it. And that was the aha moment of knowing that I had something that could affect billions of people's lives. And it took me this long to really carve it and to shape it so that people can understand it in simple terms. This also goes into physics and math and everything else, but I mainly focused all these years on human behavior and why they do what they do.
I love it. I love the story. And isn't it true? We really do have to go through what we go through, the journey of the journeys, to then realize and want to change and want to evolve into better, And I think I always say, whatever we go through in our lives, I've gone through a lot in my life, but I'll tell you, I wouldn't change it. I would not change it, because I wouldn't be here today, the woman that I am. And that's the same thing you say. I hear that all the time. It's so funny. If we grow past everything, then there was it's actually a scripture of Thomas, where Jesus said, and I don't know if I'm getting it right, so somebody who's really good in this, they'll probably correct me, so be it. But basically they were saying, if you eat the lion, then the lion gets new life in you. And that's your struggle. But if the lion eats you, you are the lion, which you are the struggle. If you understand that and you learn that you grow past those struggles, if you eat the lion and the lion gets a new life in you, you get stronger. You ask why. You move forward in your life and you help others. But if the lion eats you, you become that struggle. You become the victim. You wear it as a badge and you never grow.
It's why we live in a dichotomous world: left, right, up, down, in, out.
Yeah.
So as much as pain that you're going through at that moment in time, there is just as much pleasure. As much disease that's in your body, as much health.
Yes.
So if you're going through autumn, and autumn is letting go and all the things, and you think your life is falling apart, you have to know that spring is there as well. It has to be.
Exactly.
There's winter now, but there's summer in the southern hemisphere. So you have both. It is up to you. There's nothing you do not have. Everything is within you.
Yes.
And it's up to you what you want to take up to show the world and yourself. And that's why there is no such thing as lack. Lack is only in your life to help show you what you are vibrating. And as soon as you change your thought process on a consistent basis and how you feel and how you act, then you must change your vibration. Therefore, the people, things, and events must come in, new ones, to reinforce your new vibration. It's law.
Dr. Philip, I couldn't have said it better. That's excellent. Excellent. Thank you. Now, how do people get hold of you if they want to?
They can go to sabotagequiz.com. That's sabotagequiz.com. They can take the quiz. They can look. They can buy the book if they care to. I do have some online courses. I do workshops, and I also do one-on-one mentoring with business owners throughout the world. I have clients all around the world that I work with, and my workshops. And,
I love it.
I guarantee my results, by the way.
I bet you do. Yeah.
Actually guarantee them.
I guarantee mine too. That's excellent. And I'll tell you what, guys, at least take the quiz because it is really cool. And if you find you're getting the same results all the time, you might want to do a little bit more. Thank you very much, Doctor. I have so enjoyed having you as a guest. And
I really enjoy this. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Have a fun day.
You too. And to everyone out there, okay, so take a look. What is your domino? Who is that guy with the sword that keeps coming into your life? And remember, be kind to yourself. We all have sabotages, so don't think it's the only one in the world, but it's time to deal with it. This is 30-Minute Moments. I'm your host, Alena Chapman. Ease and betterment. Namaste.
Podcasts by Federated Media.